that's reached. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Collect the new 2024 season NBA cards now at Sports Card World Regent Arcade.
Port Adelaide's Sam Powell-Pepper will learn his fate at the AFL Tribunal tomorrow morning. He was sent straight to the tribunal for a bump that left Adelaide's Mark Keane. It comes after the match review officer graded the incident as careless, severe impact and high contact. Collingwood veteran Scott Pendlebury and Jeremy Howe will miss tonight's practice match against Richmond. Pendlebury received a knock to the knee at training, while Howe is battling a corked calf. And the Matildas have been training today in preparation for tomorrow night's second Olympic qualifier against Uzbekistan to be played in Melbourne. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Hungry? Enjoy the new menu and all-you-can-eat salad and veg bar at the Paradise Hotel.
Crash to look out for a train near Glenburn Road near Richardson Reserve. North Adelaide, parts of Warmaroy Drive are closed for pink tonight around the Adelaide Oval, speed to 25. Crayford, there's a breakdown on the freeway up track near the Meekstays Bridge and slow for works at Glenside, Fullerton Road near Mulberry Road. Cameras, Southern Expressway, Lonsdale and Wantana Avenue at Gillis Plains. Snooze members save up to 40% off the RRP at Snooze, including up to 40% off mattresses and up to 40% off bed frames. Hurry, the Snooze member event ends Sunday. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Sunny again tomorrow with a morning cool change, a top of 31. Thursday, cloud clearing 27, mostly sunny 29 on Friday and partly cloudy 25 on Saturday. Currently 36. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, one man dead, another to be charged with murder over a Paralawi stabbing. The dramatic arrest caught on camera. New details in the citywide hunt for a gunman wanted over a Green Hill Road shooting. The video that has Taylor Swift's dad in hot water, we have his side of the story. And the SA supermarket giving away millions. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
Welcome, it's 6 after 4 on this hot Tuesday afternoon. Hopefully you're getting through the day nice and cool and heading into the end of the day on a high. Timmy G, Stephen Rowe, good afternoon to you.
Well, it was hot. It was still not a cloud in the sky. God, they'd be jumping in the boat today. We have a big show. I'm looking forward to it. We'll reminisce. 10 years ago this year, we moved Sample back to Adelaide Oval, and game one was Showdown 26 March the 29th. We'll speak to Andrew Demetriou about that. He was a massive pawn in that stadium deal. We'll get to that, and we get in line now, 8223 300 We've got a $50 Powers voucher. Your memory of Adelaide Oval in the last 10 years. Yeah. Timmy, welcome.
How are you, Stephen? Thank you very much for that. Yeah, it's amazing that 10 years goes like that. It's just incredible. I was just saying off air that I do remember the first time we took the train into town, got off, the wife, myself, my two girls. I don't think my lad was with me that night. And we walked
over the bridge,
looking at Adelaide Oval. And I just looked at the wife and said, why did this take so long? This is awesome. This looks great. And I think it's really served its purpose ever since, and it's been awesome for both football, cricket and concerts, as we all see tonight.
Well, pink, 60,000 tonight. And bullfeds like me that was on air at the time with Cornsey, I want a roof. Why would you go half-cock? Why spend over $535 million? Spend $1 billion and get an inner-city stadium with a roof. And Andrew Demetriou said,
there won't be a roof.
And we got him on tonight.
I love that.
Now, Timmy, you had your Sample Chairman of Selectors first meeting today. Now, you played the Big V.
Correct.
April 6th, Glenelg Oval, 12:40.
Yeah, correct.
That will be huge.
Yeah, it is. And I think, the whole thing about Gather Round, we know what vibe it caused last year and how everybody got around it. Well, to now put a state game into that mix, I think is really an awesome concept. And it's going to be played at the Bay. And I think that's going to be excellent for people who want to come down. It's 12:40, so it's a great start to then be able to go into the Bay afterwards and have a good night and the like, and you might catch up with me. But the main thing is we've got to get a side together, and that's going to win. So a lot of that will be, going to watch the teams train, talk to the coaches, go and watch the scratch matches that are happening. So I'm off to Footy Park on I think it's Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
I told you you'd love the role.
Yeah. So it's
how good
it's
is
great.
it?
Yeah, and you get to see a lot of footy, and you get to see a lot of what the sample has on display.
Well, selected media were invited into Matthew Nix's war room. You had the state meeting, so you couldn't get there, Timmy. But there was Stud and KG. You and I were meant to be there. Blighty, Wilds, Rennie, Bix. It was fantastic, and I call it a war room because it was actually Matty Nix's office.
Selection room, was it?
No, it was his office. So it was an L shape. It had screens and LEDs, BBBs, Harvey Normans everywhere. Had a massive board table, which was a football ground, with little men on it, with their numbers on it. And it would have been easy, 3 metres long. And I guess the assistants all sit around it and... You know, back in the World War I and World War II movies where you have the big RAF invasions of Germany and they have those big long sticks and they just
move the pieces.
Yep. It felt like that, but it was bloody intimate. It was great with Matty Nix.
You wait till you come down. You're coming to Alberton next week, aren't you?
Yes.
You wait till you see the selection room there.
Yeah, it's an eye-opener.
The door is bigger than any bank vault you've ever seen.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it is massive.
Well, you love it. All their intimate IP secrets were all on the walls and on screens. Anyway,
so we're happy for you to see.
So, Matty Nix, thanks for that. To invite us there to do that was absolutely superb. My number one takeout was, this is from Matty, and I mean, you can't, well, I'm going to give it all away. I think I was meant to ring before.
You can't give it all
Can
away.
Shut, said
Trade secrets.
Well, here we go.
You won't get an invite next year.
Well, this is my takeout. The club's profile, I think they're high-end talent. The pre-season they've done now, after 4 years with Nixie there, they have a real goal of top 8, not only top 8, being in the pointy end of the top 8. And I think, why would you not?
Why would you not?
Well, why would you not? On the back of last year. So it was backed up by GM of Footy, Adam Kelly. He spoke. So we had Curls, GM of Footy. Nixie had a half hour. Tim Silvers and obviously John Olsen. But Adam Kelly gave us a great history of Matty Nix as coach from the minute he walked in, the selection of why we got him, the bonding and the connection and the style of coach he was going to be, to where they are now. And most rebuilds aren't linear. They're a bit up and down.
Yep.
You might have a spike, and if you have a look at the West Coast, you have a look at North, have a look at Hawthorn.
Your last 3 years, though, 7 wins, 8 wins, 11 wins.
There you go. Brilliant, Timmy. So bottom 2020, 21-7, 2022, 8, 2023, 11. And it was a massive spike last year. When you think that they were the highest scoring team, they're one of the talk teams in the AFL. People love watching them play.
Yes.
They hit the scoreboard. They lost 5 games, as we know, by less than a kick. They beat Port twice, all that sort of stuff. But it was bloody positive. Like, I've gone into the year excited. I got out of the war room. Oh, boy, the cat went backwards. The car drove itself home. I know I got here late.
In reverse.
Well, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Be excited if you're a Crows person about this year.
Well, as I've said right at the beginning of pre-season, it's the land of hope and no glory. You have to live in that optimistic world because you go, why would I do a pre-season?
That's right.
Looking at last week's trial and the fact that the
49 apiece.
majority of your list is pretty healthy, you've got to be positive. And I felt the same way about Port Adelaide. I thought, well, Todd Marshall comes back probably next week. They're just about at full strength and showed enough, I thought.
Well, he shared with us, and I hope they're going to have selection, but he shared with us that Butsy will play this week, Miller will play this week. They're going to debate Saligo. And I think what they'll do is they'll probably take him 26. Probably the majority of the game they'll play their best 22. Maybe Saligo might have my guess, a little Bo Peep in the third or fourth quarter. But that's great. They're 3 first-pick players. They're going to come back. Club chairman John Olsen then had his half hour. He briefed us on the proposed home of FIVEAA. Do you know it's 3 years to the day, almost to the day, where John Olsen picked up the phone and he asked the SANFL and the council, what do you think about us moving to FIVEAA Oval?
Okay.
3 years ago.
And how far would you say they've advanced since?
Well, roll on 3 years. We've had consultation after consultation. There's been planning. There's been working drawings. There's been forecasting. They actually go for their third lot of public consultation today, which will close next Friday. So the old action group 5031...
Is that the last one?
This is the last one. Once this gets through, because this is the government, and they ratify it, There's no going back.
So, once that's done and you get that stamp that you're talking about, will that then roll into doing the agreement with the SANFL and Adelaide Footy League, as we heard from John Kernahan last night?
Well, they've signed with the council. Those little ones need to happen. The commercial in general is still a work in action. They've got to deal with two different councils. So there's a council down at West Lakes, the council at FIVEAA. So there's still a lot of moving pieces, but they're, and I hope John doesn't mind, they're 95% there.
Okay.
Which is great. So I left John's office.
Buoyant.
Zippity-doo-dah. So there's a lot to be positive about this year.
Okay, that's
so we
good.
may even see the bulldozers or a stake.
All right,
now, what do you call it?
I know where you're going. You may see
some action around June.
Turn soil.
Yeah. No, the pegs. What do you call them? The
survey
pegs.
Survey pegs. Yeah.
When you see a survey peg and a chainsaw, you know it's all action.
Being a fan of Utopia, which is an Aussie sitcom,
Oh, no.
I want to see the hard hats and the shovels and digging into the dirt. I want to see that happening. That'd be a great Photoshop.
Yeah, fantastic. Have you say 822 30000. Our chatter now is the Adelaide Oval redevelopment was a massive success. Those of us that are a bit negative, we don't need to move there. We've got a perfectly good home. Port people wanted to leave. Crows were iffy. Liberal government said, no, we want $1 billion in the city. We're just rehashing things.
Yeah, there were several...
the Labor government, we're going to speak to Mr Foley.
Yeah, we might be present with Kev coming on. He was the treasurer at the time.
There you go.
Yeah.
We've got $535 million. We're not spending 1 cent more. It came in on time and on budget.
That was a great job.
It was a great job.
Yeah.
And even the biggest detractors, which I think Hornsey and I were, led by me with pitchforks, had to say, holy hell, shut up, you bullfed Stephen. There won't be a roof, and there wasn't a roof.
There won't be a roof.
And we've got him on tonight. But I'll never forget Showdown 26, Round 1, 2014, where Port smoked the Crows. Jonas from halfback goes to the outside wing. Thompson and Ollie Wines. Ollie Wines ran past him like he's standing still, and there it is. Stand up as one, Port Adelaide. You have won the first ever showdown at Adelaide Oval. 50,397,000 of you. 19-14, 128 to Adelaide 11-7, 73. A margin of 55. A complete and utter flogging. Oh, I was spewing that day because you won the first showdown at Footy Park when you came in 97.
That's right.
And you won that one. You get the bragging rights. But in that 10 years, what's your number one game?
Yeah, I got to say, that one was a great day because I didn't call. So I had the day off and I was involved in a bit of, so with the great Russell Ebert, we had two corporate teams and Milton Vidulis, comes on with the gardening show. He actually played in one of the teams as well. And we had these guys play. And so we were on the Adelaide Oval and I coached one and Russ coached the other. And it was a great sort of corporate day. Then they put us all up in these corporate boxes over the other side, and we got to watch the game. And
you got Schindler's.
Well, I did, but just as a spectator, it was awesome to watch the whole thing pan out and just see the spectacle that it was brilliant. But I think, look, my favourite memory, and it's amazing that it came in the exact same year of 2014, was the final between Port Adelaide and Richmond.
Oh, was that game?
And you called it with me.
Unbelievable.
And the thing about that was it was the build-up to it. There was some ridiculous glitch where they wouldn't allow Port to wear their home Guernsey. And they said, you're not wearing the home Guernsey, you have to wear a clash Guernsey against Richmond.
At home?
At Adelaide Oval.
Oh, stop
So it caused all this drama. But what it did, because there was a bit of time up the sleeve, they got what you call the prison bars, I call the wharf pylons, but they got that old Guernsey done up for that final. So they wore it in that final.
Wow.
And it exploded, and the boys lifted. It was an incredible first term.
That was the best first quarter of footy I reckon I've seen.
Correct. And that's why
Still
it's
to
such
this day.
a stinging memory for me. It's just fantastic. But the benefit of that, what they actually did, they did the club a favour. They sold $1 million worth of those Guernseys post. How good is that for a shot in the arm?
Let's have a listen.
Be great, what a season he's had. Gets around Grimes, then sidesteps two, sidesteps three. West up now, can have a shot on goal. Can he kick a goal? The perfect start again! Wow! Brilliant football, Port Adelaide. The a perfect start to Port Adelaide.
Slapped on by Westhoff to Mead, gets around his man, takes a bounce in the middle of the ground, takes a second bounce, goes with a long looping handle. No, he doesn't. He goes long with the right leg, has a shot.
Can you believe this?
Dear! 7-1 to no score.
They are inspired.
8 goals that quarter, 7-0.
It was amazing.
It was electric.
It was just incredible.
Wow.
And then they were never losing from that moment onwards.
Yeah.
A lot of people criticised Trent Cotchin. He won the toss and kicked what appeared to be
A breeze,
into
remember?
the win. And everyone went, what's he doing
We
that
did.
for? Yeah. And in the end, we know now that it's quite protected by the Riverbank stand, isn't it? So maybe he misread it, but in the end, I think Port Adelaide were inspired.
Oh, what's your favourite Adelaide Oval memory in the last 10 years? As we said, we'll speak to Andrew Demetriou a little later. Mine wasn't hard to pick. It was the prelim win over Geelong in 2017.
Everybody knows it's the Crows. They're up by 61 points. You'll hear a massive roar. 5 seconds, 4, still in the pocket. Jacobs, 2, 1. Oh, the jubilation. 20 years of your frustration with 4 prelim finals. The song will blurt out. Walker runs out. Eddie Benson on his knees. There is all round. Happy tears by Adelaide. Let's hear the song.
I sounded like I'd had a few too many Aperols.
Down an octave or two.
Oh, it was.
What was that?
What happened there? Who cut that up?
Were you trying to be like Kamal or something?
I sounded a bit.
Really?
I sounded a bit, you know.
Bizarre.
Yeah,
Like
they'll plumb in
you
the
know what?
throat.
It was almost as if, you'd normally play a single on 45. It was like you were on
there you
33.
go.
You were slower speed or something.
There were 4 things I said I sounded like that I can't use any 4 of them because I'd be off air.
Good call.
And that's the change in me.
But that was
it would have
amazing.
been a dumpy.
That was very strange.
That was awful. I finished that game playing this probably 1,001 too many times that week. It was the start of that. And now I play it, I get death threats.
Well, now it's the reverse curse,
It's
isn't
the
it?
reverse
yeah,
curse.
we have to reverse the
but
curse.
that was the
but
start of it. That was the start of
you
it.
did flog it that way.
Oh, God. So what is your memories? We've got a $50 Powers voucher to give away. Have your say. And it's just your favourite memory. It doesn't have to be,
Yeah, just your favourite.
cricket. It could be a concert.
Could be a concert there.
Peak
Great
tonight.
call.
There's been great concerts there. Before we go to the break, Sam Powell Pepper will face the AFL Tribunal tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Everything coming across the border from the new regime, which is the executive.
Yes.
What's the GM of football now?
Laura Kane.
Laura Kane. We want 4 weeks, nothing less. Now, how can they bang that drum about that?
That wasn't her quote. That wasn't her
Well, I'm not
quote.
saying it was
So-
her, but that's what we're hearing. They want 4
Well,
weeks.
you know what? I don't
Two
like it. I
department.
don't like it when somebody over in the Melbourne media drives a outcome before it's even happened. So it's gone to the tribunal for a reason. Allow that process to play out before you start throwing up numbers. That's what I don't like. I'll
You're going
do
to
that
throw up a
all the
number?
time.
Channel 9 asked me to throw up a number.
Yeah, I said.
I said he might as well retire.
Well, there is a new rule coming in.
Well, he might as well.
In the 24 season, there's a new rule coming in that if your case goes to the tribunal, but you can accept 3,
Yep.
I'll let you move on quickly.
Okay.
I would've
Because they
moved-
don't like tribunals.
Yeah, I would have moved on
Just
quickly.
to
I would
remove
have,
them.
but
Yeah.
that wasn't in for this one.
No, it wasn't.
He's going to get 4. That is a dead set shame.
like that.
And a lot of people, we got a lot of text on the Unique Home Style Food text. Ro, what about Mark Keane? Why don't you talk about Mark Keane? Well, I actually had a coffee with him today. Well, sort of. I walked past him. He was having a coffee with Murph and Strawny. I did the old, how you going? Thumbs up. And what's the big word? Congenitively?
No, cognitively.
What is it?
Cognitively.
Cognitively.
He got the coffee perfectly to his pursed lips, drank it, blew it, looked great, did a couple of laps. So I think he's passed the test.
No, I don't think so.
He plays.
No, I don't
What's
think
that
so.
word again?
Yeah. Cognitively.
That is a massive neurological term.
It is.
That's a good word.
But he looked great to me.
Good.
So I think he plays, but he can't. He's
No.
got 14 days off.
Minimum.
Have your say, 82230000. We want callers.
Yeah.
We want to have fun with this. 10 years this year.
Get
Woo!
on board. Tim from Prospect, who we know well as a North Melbourne supporter, just said, I do not have a single favourite AFL moment as we've never won.
Good on you, Timmy.
23 after 4, get your calls in, 8223 0000. We're going to give away that $50 Pals voucher in the next half hour. Andrew Demetriou, who was all a part of that redevelopment, to join us. Charlie Grant from the Tildas, Ned McHenry later on. We'll get your calls next.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
We're for the adventures. Because every getaway, you secure the bikes to the tow bar, pack the boot like a game of Tetris, and listen to the kids ask, "Are we there yet?" for the 100th time. You support quality family time, and we support you. Wayville and Southern Mitsubishi. Right now, you're good to go adventuring with a $2,000 fuel card on all 2023 build Triton and Pajero Sport models. Wayville and Southern Mitsubishi, driven by Australian Motors. Family time runs in our blood too. T's and C's apply.
Wow, we're actually moving. Come on. Sure we can get more than 2 of us through the lights. Hello, we're doing like 50 in a 60 zone. Come on, mate. Oh, and then you're going to brake. Excellent. What is taking so long? Come on. Move, woman. It's green. Move. Come on.
Beat the heat. Keep cool with Fix Now, Pay Later options available. Book now. For great service guaranteed, call 1300 Automasters.
More than 17,000 Australians, both young and old, will die from stroke or heart attack caused by hypertension or high blood pressure this coming year. Many could be prevented through early detection. But right now, an Adelaide research team is seeking volunteers for a study to trial a potential treatment. If you've been diagnosed with moderate hypertension and you're between 18 and 72, you could be eligible. Go to fusiontrials.com.au/hypertension or call 08 7077 6996. You will be compensated for your time.
For over 3 decades, Regent Homes has been synonymous with crafting architecturally bespoke homes, each one a testament to Regent Homes' unwavering commitment to design, quality and sophistication. And because Regent Homes is a South Australian family-owned company, they understand more than anyone what it takes to build a family home. Experience Regent Homes' award-winning display homes at Lightsview and Blackwood Park. Innovative design, elevated living. Visit regenthomes.com.au.
Little Heroes Foundation's Women in Business Luncheon is back again Friday, March 15th. Proudly presented by ADL Support Services. This year, Kate Collins is your host. Plus, Kelly Jamison from Edible Blooms will share her journey along with many other powerhouse women. Last year it was the Australian of the Year, Taryn Brumford. Head to littleheroesfoundation.com.au to purchase your tickets. But hurry, tickets will sell fast. All money raised supports childhood dementia.
Join over 60,000 Adelaide homes and say yes to lowering your energy bills with Yes, your energy saving solutions. To beat the summer heat, Yes can connect you with a new air conditioner thanks to the SA government initiative called REPS. Yes is offering eligible concession households a fully installed 2.6 kilowatt Rinnai system for only $8.99. Yes, $8.99. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from Your Energy Saving Solutions, go to yess.net.au.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
27 minutes after 4, 8223 0000 is the number to call. We want your favourite memories in 10 years at the redeveloped Adelaide Oval. We'll take your calls next. Here's your traffic.
Quite a few bingles to look out from the drive home tonight. One at Bedford Park, South Road near Shepherd's Hill Road. Another one at Paradise, Darley Road near the Paradise Rec Centre. Another smash at Christie Downs, Christopher Road near Gabrielle Street. North Adelaide parts of Memorial Drive are closed for the Pink concert tonight around the Adelaide Oval. Speeds at 25. Cameron Smith Street, Walkerville, and the Southern Expressway, Lonstar. Shell Card customers in South Australia can use their Shell Card at all 23 Liberty service stations across the state. Visit shell.com.au/fuel finder for your nearest station. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Well, the new Adelaide Oval's 10 years old. Where did that go? We all love it. What's your favourite memory? Hello, Mike.
Hey, boys. How you going?
Good, buddy.
Boys, my son and I, we love talking sport, and over the last few months it's been a lot of cricket stories, but last night we lay in bed and we spoke about this exact story. My son asked me, Dad, what's your favourite part of Adelaide Oval? And a few games came up. 2017 prelim was one of them. But the one that stood out for me, and I reckon you boys will be the same, was the 2015 showdown when Adelaide just beat Port Adelaide. It wasn't it wasn't for the result, but it was more the fact that those two footy clubs came together. Footy club supporters, everyone. It was just a beautiful night.
Phil Walsh's team are going to win. It's the closest showdown ever. Showdown 39. In the closest match in the history of the two clubs, Adelaide win by 3 points. They're in the 8.
Scott Thompson hugging his wife was a memory. Getting won the medal. Chappie and Koshy in the race, embracing, tears streaming down their face. It united a state, a football, and two clubs. And for a split moment, it was the saddest, numbing experience I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, you'll never
in my life.
You'll never have a game between our two clubs ever feel like that. I don't think again. So it wasn't exactly that. It was a numbing feeling. Yeah. It was.
Mike, we're getting stacks of those memories on the Unique Homestyle Food text. Thanks for sharing that one. Hello, Braden.
G'day, boys. How are you? Timmy, Rowey, hope you're well.
Good, thanks, buddy.
Boys, 2018 showdown when Stevie Motloff in his, I think it was his first showdown.
Not listening.
Yes, Braden, go on.
Rowey won't like this one, but put us in front with less than a minute to go out of the centre. What a goal.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there was an incredible game because I reckon McGovern had just kicked a really long-range goal to put the Crows in front, and everyone's going, oh, what a game. And I reckon might have been 40 seconds left on the clock, and then it came out. A clash happened between actually two Crow defenders. The ball spilled up. It was Sammy Gray quickly handballing to Motlop, who ran, dodged, and then kicked it on the outside of his right boot and goes through. So
great call.
It was just an amazing game. Well done, Braden.
I reckon we've got about 5 of them on the Unique Homestyle Food text as well. Hello, Trace.
G'day, guys. How are you?
Good, Tracy.
I actually have 2. The first one being the Walshy Showdown, and I actually marched with all the Port supporters, and it was the most unique experience. It was emotionally charged, but it was in a good way. And I've never put my arm around a Port supporter, but we're walking arm in arm. We just embraced each other. Because as much as I don't like Port, they don't like us, it was our state against the Victorians, who some of the critics in Victoria were saying that we were taking it too far. And I'm like, what? But that was an incredible game, and I was on the edge of my seat all the time. But the second one was the 2017 prelim final. That was our grand final. And unfortunately, I was at the MCG when it all fell apart. But Port supporters know what that's like too.
Yeah, thanks, Trace. Yeah, keep them coming.
It's the highs and the lows, isn't it? That keeps you coming back. It's a bit like my golf.
Oh, God. We'll talk about that
There's
Thursday.
a high and a low every week.
10 years, Sammy.
It is of the redeveloped Adelaide Oval. Keep your calls coming in. That $50 Powers voucher, we're going to give that away shortly. More of your calls after the break, 28 to 5.
The FIVEAA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
David Bruce with the latest news headlines. 2 bodies found near Goulburn in New South Wales are almost certainly those of Jesse Baird and Luke Davies. The human remains were discovered after the alleged killer had a change of heart and revealed the location of the bodies. A 27-year-old man is likely to be charged with murder after the fatal stabbing of a 23-year-old at Paralowie this morning. Pink is performing at Adelaide Oval tonight. There's free public transport for concert goers to and from the Oval. Gates open at 5. And Sam Powell-Pepper will front the AFL Tribunal tomorrow morning. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Hungry? Enjoy the new menu and all-you-can-eat salad and veg bar at the Paradise Hotel.
Quite a few bingos to look out from the drive home tonight. One at Bedford Park, South Road near Shepherd's Hill Road. Another one at Paradise, Darley Road near the Paradise Rec Centre. Another smash at Christie Downs, Christopher Road near Gabrielle Street. North Adelaide parts of War Memorial Drive are closed for the Pink concert tonight around the Adelaide Oval. Speeds at 25 with Cameron Smith Street, Walkerville and the Southern Expressway, Lonstar. Shell Card customers in South Australia can use their Shell Card at all 23 Liberty service stations across the state. Visit shell.com.au/fuel finder for your nearest station. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Sunny for the rest of today. Tomorrow, a morning cool change. Sunny and 31. Currently, it's 36. More news at 5, and as it happens on 5AA.
5AA Breakfast. The existence of the term Operation Mandrake is of itself confirmation of the modern appetite for euphemism, isn't it? Correct. Because most people don't automatically know what Operation Mandrake is. By design. Yeah, when it's actually about keeping an eye on South Australia's Indigenous and African criminal underclass. Informing Adelaide. But calling it Operation Mandrake sounds a hell of a lot more polite than that, doesn't it? 6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
CMAX Clinical Research are calling all generally healthy adults aged 18 to 65 to take part in important medical research. An exciting opportunity to trial a potential medication that could decrease the risk of a coronary artery disease for people who have predisposed risk factors. Stay at CMAX for 2 consecutive nights and days and attend up to 12 visits to help pave the future of modern medicine. All eligible participants are paid for their time. Interested? Apply for C08123 at cmax.com.au.
Nothing beats driving away in your brand new Mitsubishi, but choosing your brand new Mitsubishi comes pretty close. Thanks to the team at Agostino Mitsubishi with over 35 years experience in excellent service. Don't miss their Good to Go giveaway. Purchase a 2023 Eclipse or Outlander to receive a $1,000 fuel card. Purchase a 23 Triton or Pajero to receive a $2,000 fuel card. Hurry into Agostino Mitsubishi Nailsworth or their new state-of-the-art Agostino Mitsubishi Mawson Lakes.
Thinking about a solar battery? Don't wait. Connect with NRG Solar and bring home a solar battery with a rock-solid 10-year warranty. Use the energy you generate during the day. Store some for later, reducing reliance on energy providers and putting money back in your pocket. See NRG Solar in their new premises at St Mary's. Bigger place, better space, some amazing people. Visit NRG Solar now at 1275 South Road or call 1300 858 160.
When you die, who gets what? Will your kids or relatives argue over your estate? Will your beneficiaries be protected? Will your estate be tax effective? Will your wishes be respected and carried out? Speak with Donlan Lawyers now for peace of mind. Donlan Lawyers for wills and estate planning. Visit donlanlawyers.com. That's donlanlawyers.com.
Shares, property, interest rates, gold, the Aussie dollar, crypto, mortgages, big companies, small companies, and everything in between. We even throw in a bit of politics. Fear and Greed Business News is your daily podcast covering everything you need to know about business and investing. Most podcasts tell you what's going on. We help you understand why. So join us every day for Fear and Greed Business News on the Nova Player or wherever you get your podcasts. Fear and Greed, black and white, never grey.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
13 minutes to 5. Very soon, Andrew Demetriou to join us at 5 o'clock, one of the key players in getting the Adelaide Oval redeveloped in 2014. So we're asking you, 8223 0000, what are your favourite memories at the new Oval in the last 10 years?
Yeah, well, we've got the phone lines open, 8223 0000. We've got that $50 Powers voucher up for grabs. Yuri's on the line. Yuri, I reckon Rowey better take this call.
I'm going to talk about the beloved Redlegs. Back in 10 years ago, this year when the beloved part-time Redlegs beat the millionaire Port Adelaide team.
Oh, those 18-year-olds. Yeah, that's right. You did a good job.
In the grand final.
Yeah. My thrilling time of my football life. Late in the game, I thought there's got to be a couple of minutes to go, and Port streaming down the left wing. I thought, holy shit, we're 5-4. They're gonna score. We're gonna lose. And bloody the siren goes. Oh my God! I'm getting teary now. I could not believe it. Thought, bloody, what's going on the side? Oh, it's all again. The siren's gone. We've won it. Oh,
it was
the most
great.
thrilling moment of my football life that day, boys.
Yuri, do you know who the timekeeper was that day? It was Neil Baum.
Phil Gallagher. Yuri. Great memory. Now, was the Maggies coach back then Chad Corns?
No. No, that was Buddha Hocking.
Oh, it was Buddha Hocking.
Yeah,
It
Buddha
was
Hocking.
too.
Yeah. And I reckon that one was, Bass had coached a couple of flags in a row, and then the full forward from South Adelaide. Benny Warren took over.
Yeah, that was a great day. Hello, Rex.
Gentlemen, how are you?
What's your best memory of the last 10 years?
Well, first up, there's been many fond memories at Adelaide Oval, and well done to the Crows for instigating that move back to Adelaide Oval from Footy Park.
Rex, please, Rex.
Rex.
Yeah, come on.
I think it was Labor and Port.
I like
it. Couldn't get there quick enough.
No, come on.
I know you're having some fun, and I'm going to let you have some fun, but don't go that far.
Well, Rex, listen after 5, because Andrew Demetria will step you through exactly what happened.
Well, he'll verify what I'm saying then, so all good. But my favourite memory, and the one that I do go back to the videotape and watch, has to be the unlosable prelim final, the 2021 prelim Port Power versus Sons of the West.
The red, the white, and blue. Yeah, that was Rex. That was an awful day for Port.
Rex is having a
no, but that was an awful day. For your club.
I know, but he's sort of like he must spend his time on YouTube just watching Port losses, and just accumulating them.
There's a lot of Crows people get a lot of joy out of that, Tim.
It's interesting.
It's a different sort of mentality. Us,
yeah, it is.
I know personally, I do as well.
Right, okay.
It's funny, isn't it?
No, I don't see any.
Rex, love you. Hello, Matt.
How's it going?
What's your favourite?
Well, I was behind his shoulder when he took it, but versus Western Sydney Wanderers, I believe. Isaias' free kick.
Yes.
Oh, mate.
Si, senor. Simon Hill, a good mate of yours.
Yes.
It's going to be Isaias. Oh, Isaias, the Spaniard. Si, senor. Si. 2 goals to the good Adelaide.
That was an incredible call.
What a
Matt,
goal.
I was there with my son. How good was it?
So was I. I was there with my boy too. Yeah, it was unreal.
Oh, God.
Matt, I reckon if
electric.
nobody's seen that, please go on YouTube and watch it.
Elite.
So, Rex, if you want to do something positive on YouTube, go and watch Isaias have a shot at goal and get into that top
killed it
corner.
in the top corner,
It was
didn't he?
incredible.
Bend it like Beckham.
And you knew then we've got this championship.
Matty,
It's coming home to Adelaide.
thanks for sharing that. That's a good memory for me too.
Yeah,
Hello,
he's
Phil.
in the running.
How are you, fellas?
Hey, Phil.
Fantastic listening to all those memories. I've got to say, my special memory was watching India get bowled out for 36 in a test match.
Yes.
You know, Phil, bizarrely, they beat us in the next test.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
You didn't have to bring that up, Tim.
Yeah. He's got a habit of doing that, Phil. But live in the moment, Timmy.
Yeah, true. It was it was quite staggering because they're one of the best
It was like
test
a
nations in the
schoolboy's
world.
cricket scoreboard.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, incredible.
Their lowest test score ever.
Who did most of the damage? Was it the
Pat
Quicks?
Cummins and Josh Hazelwood, I think, picked
yeah,
up 5
thought
and
it
8, 5 and 4, I think, each or something like that.
Yeah. Thanks, Phil. Great memory. John at Summerton Park.
Well, this one wouldn't have even picked up when the Adelaide Oval redevelopment would have been put in, but the BBL,
yes,
young Australian guy coming on the scene, BBL number 12, needs 5 for a century, get the strikers across the line, New Year's Eve, Travis Head.
Oh,
5 sixes off his last 13 balls. He's 11 short of 100, 7 to win. Another big hit on the leg side. It's another 6, 2 in a row. He moves to 95.
Everyone in the ring.
Oh, he gets it! He gets it! It's over! It's a 6.
That's his 100.
Century to savour. A champagne moment on New Year's Eve for Travis Head.
That, John, special, mate. That was special.
Really good with a bunch of young kids in your family and your mates
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve. How great.
Well done. Great memory.
Great
You're in the
memory.
running
Well
for that
done, mate. The
$50
fireworks went off that night.
How good are memories?
Oh, yeah. And that was a brilliant...
That oval.
I was just trying to remember what year that was.
2 years ago.
16.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't.
no,
It was
no,
longer
no,
than that.
it was more than that.
I reckon it was
Longer
about
than that.
Oh, look that up,
2016-ish.
Sammy.
Yeah,
Hello,
we'll look it
Jimmy
up.
at Ingle Farm.
Yeah, good, thanks. Rowey, yourself?
Oh, fair. I love memory. I love this.
Yeah, it's funny, I was only listening to you on the radio and I thought to myself, I've got an absolute screamer. This one actually revolves around a bloke by the name of Eddie Betts. I think he managed over 10 years to rename all the pockets.
Yes.
And boy, were they entertaining goals.
Oh, my God.
Well, he kicked some, Jim, that I think basically defied physics.
Yeah.
It's
you're dead right, Tim.
Yeah, it's impossible to sort of do it. And you remember
there won't ever be one Eddie Betts.
Do you remember the old Adelaide Oval that we played on?
Yep.
It had big square pockets.
Yes.
So you sort of understood some of those angles. But when it was redefined, it was a much narrower oval, and he still kicked goals that you used to see back when they were square pockets.
He lit that year up like no other. Jim, thank you for that memory. Here's another one, a unique home-style food text. What about Taylor Walker kicking 10? It's rare in modern footy. Kept it off the
Here
ball.
it is.
Walker, goal!
He's got it!
Listen to the roar! So, at the end of it, they have given us a lot of joy, our footy clubs.
Oh, yeah, you do. And that's the thing about
that was unbelievable.
When you get to float
last
back
year.
over 10 years that we've been at Adelaide Oval, it's not just the AFL games that have been there. It has been, the
That
moments
oval.
like that. I think somebody else had texted in about Liverpool playing there, which they did, which was a huge turnout. And it is those concerts that we've been able to. I've seen the Rolling Stones. I've seen
name them,
AC/DC.
because in the ad break, you've seen the Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones, AC/DC. I saw the Queen, with Adam Lambert play there. That was just before COVID too. I reckon 3 weeks later we were sent home. So it was quite amazing, all of those moments. Adele came, and I remember I was working at the football club, and they came through late in the afternoon. They said, "Does anybody want any tickets to Adele?" And I said, "Well, how many you got?" And they said, "Oh, well, how many you want?" And I just said, "Oh, well, look, the girls might go." And so I just took 2. I got home and I said, "Oh, girls, do you want to go to Adele tonight? She's at Adelaide Oval." And they went, "Oh, we'd love to. That'd be awesome." I said, "Well, here's a
They
couple
reckon
of tickets."
it was unreal.
Well, what happened was they walked in and they thought, well, they're probably in the nosebleed, and they just kept showing the tickets. And they said, "All right, come with me." And this lady kept leading them and leading them and leading them. And they ended up right next to the stage in the VIP section. I think these were players' tickets, but the players had left.
No.
And so they were just handing out the tickets. They had the best night of their life. They couldn't believe it.
Oh, my goodness.
It was just one of those really fluky moments in life, and they got to see her at Adelaide Oval, and they said she was brilliant.
Yeah, I saw the monster trucks.
Yeah.
With a little nephew.
Do you know monster trucks are one of the great entertainments?
It was awesome. I went there kicking and screaming,
Yeah,
but
it's a
God, I
great
got
day.
the fumes up my nostrils, and I was...
I took Darcy for his 10th birthday. I've never seen happier kids in all my life.
Okay. Well, Adelaide Oval, keep them coming in. Andrew Demetrio after 5 o'clock. Timmy and I are going to go through Crows and Port's year, some sort of prediction. I think it's my turn to give a $50 voucher away, and I thought he was very humorous. He was funny. I'm going to give it to Rex. Tim.
Port
You
final.
take that back. You take that back immediately.
Do I have to, Sam?
Rex told fibs for starters.
All right, Rex.
He
Timmy's
said
the captain.
the Crows led it to Adelaide Oval, so he told
Timmy's
fibs.
the captain. You can't have it.
We'll reconvene maybe after
We
the
might
break.
have to reconvene.
14 minutes
So you're not
to
going to
five.
give it to Rex?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, Timmy, you're a killjoy. All right,
All right.
we'll
Won't
find
be
out who
happy.
the winner is in a
all
minute.
right. That's
Hey,
right.
The Crows have been dubbed not good enough to make finals by one commentator, and we're going to find out who that is after the break. First, here's your traffic.
At Bedford Park, crash South Road near Shepherd's Hill Road. Paradise crash there too. Dudley Road near the Paradise Rec Plaza. Another collision at Christie Downs, Christopher Road near Gabriel Street. Crayfords got a breakdown there. Freeway uptrack near the Meansdays Bridge with cameras Baines Road, Woodcroft and Blue Street at Eagle Farm. Japanese number plates have arrived. Complete the look of your car with custom, set series or special edition Japanese plates. Order yours at easyplates.sa.gov.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
Get a read on your year. Get better at money stuff. Get a different point of view. Get your travel on and get in the game. Get school lunches absolutely nailed. Get more out of 24 with The Advertiser. We're for you.
Due to the anatomy of their neck muscles and spine, pigs are unable to look upwards. They can't see the clouds. They also won't see the soft cloud pillow from Aldi for $29.99. With 24 microfiber filled pockets giving a cloud-like feel. It's special you can buy at the Aldi Luxe Living Sale this Wednesday. Range differs between stores while stocks last. Aldi, good, different.
12 to 5, there won't be a roof after 5 o'clock. Looking forward to that.
There won't be a roof.
Calls coming in. Now, the Magic Millions SA race day arrives on Saturday, March the 9th. It's at Thomas Farms Racecourse, Murray Bridge. The SA 2-year-old classic is a season highlight. $100,000 prize on the line. They will get some good nags in that.
I've got to say, if you haven't
good
been to
field.
the races at Murray Bridge,
Oh, how good is it?
the old do yourself a favour. It is a great day. I love it, and it's not that far at all. But yeah, you can get trackside from just $20. How good's that? Score a premium food and beverage package for just $225, or pizza precinct, and you can get that package with all you can eat pizza and drinks for $80. How good's that?
Get an Uber up there.
Oh, easy.
Get some cobbers and get a bus.
Yeah, I could do that. Easy.
Done.
We used to do it.
Well, kids under 16 are free. There's plenty to keep them entertained, like amusement rides and Farmer Darcy's Travel and Farm. Oh, Farmer Darcy!
Jeez, I was wondering what my boy was doing. Don't miss the Magic Millions SA Race Day. It's Saturday, March the 9th. It's from 11 a.m. at the Murray Bridge Racing Club. Visit racingmurraybridge.com for tickets and details, and bus tickets as well, departing from the CBD. So that's how you get up there. Don't let the game play you. Stay in control and gamble responsibly.
School run or milk run? Training's done or work's begun? Wherever you're going right now, there's more than one way to get there. Just like getting ready for retirement, Australian Super is here to help guide your way. As the country's most trusted fund, we're with you. Visit australiansuper.com/yourpath. Reader's Digest Most Trusted Super Brand 2023. Read the PDS and TMD at australiansuper.com.
When you're on more than one prescription, the dollars start to add up. At National Pharmacies, we give the full dollar back to our members on every PBS copay prescription at every store, every day. Because at National Pharmacies, we understand that every dollar counts.
At CMAX Clinical Research, we're on a mission to revolutionise healthcare. By participating in a clinical trial, you can help pave the way for a potential prevention for reperfusion injury. If you're aged 18 to 50, generally healthy, you could be eligible for this CMAX study. Upon your successful participation, you'll be paid for your time and commitment to help advance medical research. Ready to check your eligibility? Log on to cmax.com.au to find out more. That's cmax.com.au.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
9 minutes to 5. Andrew Dimitru coming up at 5 o'clock, and the captains of the AFL have had their say on some of the pressing issues in the game. We're going to find out what they said very, very soon.
It's Demetrio, isn't it? Or Demetriou?
Yeah, good question.
Demetrio.
Demetriou sounds more Greek.
I wished he continued.
Oh, look,
we wouldn't be where we are now.
I think he did the right time. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
I do, yeah.
Right.
I think, between that sort of 8 to 10 is about right, and I think he did it right.
Okay, no nonsense. Loved him after 5. Hey, everyone's having their say on who makes the 8 and who doesn't. Internally, for me, after sitting with Matty Nix today, they're very bullish on top 8, and so they should be. Injury-free, with natural growth. Last year, they were the number 1 team for score. Can't see that going backwards. They've got to defend better. But remember, they lost 5 games by less than a kick. I think they'll be better on the road this year because they're a bit more older and wiser and more games. You should have every confidence as a Port supporter, player, fan or coach about an exciting top 8 opportunity this year. However, former North Melbourne Premiership gun, now media identity, David King, he had this to say about the Crows.
I just don't think they're good enough. I just don't think as a list they're talented enough to rise significantly into that contention sort of area. And it probably worries me the glut of injuries they've got at this stage of pre-season. There's half a dozen at the moment that's a real concern. Yeah. I just don't like entering the season banged up.
And they were the best. They had the least injuries last year of any team in the competition. Their cost,
So it's a shock.
Rise significantly. If a dopey umpire had a call to goal, not a point, they'd be in the 8. What do you mean rise significantly, Kingy? 5 games they lost by less than a kick. 1 to Brisbane, top 4. Beat Port twice. Lost to Collingwood twice, top 4. Lost to Melbourne by 4 points, top 4. Rise significantly. And as for the injuries, I was down at Crows today. Butts is back this week. Miller is back this week. Soligo will be back probably for a half or for the full game. Sloane's probably not in their best 22. That leaves Murray and Schomburg, who are on track to be back. Kingy, Injuries are injuries, mate. Do your homework like this bloke. Lee Montagna was a little bit more on the mark.
They were 8 and zip when they kicked 100 points in games by an average winning margin of almost 10 goals. So when they were able to get their offence flowing, they were unstoppable. And most of them were at home. But if they were kept under 100 points, they were 3 and 10. You know, does their defence stack up when they come up against teams that can stop their offence and take that away from them? And I think that'll be a focus of most teams playing against the Adelaide Crows this year. If you can stop their offence, they're vulnerable still, I think, defensively with some inexperience and a little bit of injury and maybe a bit of depth in that midfield.
Well, that's been the Crows' work on this year. Yep, the back six is a worry, no question. Murray's out, but he'll be back mid-year. They get scored heavily from turnover. They get scored heavily from centre square clearance. They get scored heavily from losing stoppage. They get smashed, in other words, from that. They're working on that. I think the new ruck rule hopefully helps Riley O'Brien to connect. And with Pedler, Rochelle, Rankin through there, I reckon they are a top 8. Hey, here's Riley O'Brien, Rob, had this to say with us on the season ahead about 2 weeks ago.
I mean, we'd love to be top 4, top 1, so we'll certainly be doing that, and we'll be certainly very disappointed if we don't make top 8, especially after last year. We felt like we probably should have been there and we probably cost ourselves, but this year we're here to win premierships, and we definitely have the talent to do that, and we could have easily beaten all the top 4 teams last year. So looking forward to the season getting underway and taking it right up to it.
Now, I think they've got the talent. Well, I'm confident they've got the talent, the high-end talent. They're as fit a team as any, well prepared by Burjo. The other thing, I think, if they can improve that centre square, and it's been a work on this summer, if they improve their defensive structures, been a work on, their record away wasn't good. I mean, I went through their record away. It was actually, where is it? It was terrible in the end. But anyway,
two wins from, I think, 11 games.
That's right. I've got them winning 13 games. That gets you in the 8. Anything can happen once you're in the 8. So I'm bullish. Well, I've got it here. They lost to Giants round 1, Geelong, Bulldogs and Ballarat, Suns on the Gold Coast, Essendon at Marvel, lost to the Lions of Melbourne, and they only beat 2 teams away, West Coast and Hawthorn. Now, if they win and play better away, win the centre square, improve their midfield and defence, there's a lot of ifs there, I know, but crikey's, Timmy.
Okay, so the panel had their opinion on Port, but before I say that, how much homework do you reckon they get to do on interstate teams?
Nil.
Well, you and I, and I'll be honest, I don't know where GWS are at in their season.
No.
I don't know where the Gold Coast are in their season, or Sydney. So it's difficult when you're not in that state to sort of really get a feel on it. But here's the panel on Port Adelaide.
Well, I think they win enough home and away games off the back of their midfield to play finals. Yep. I think they do. Whether they are good enough to challenge the top 4 is what we're going to have to wait and see and assess throughout the year.
I got them just in the 8.
Okay.
You know, I think they're good enough to make it, home ground advantage, those sorts of things. Those 2 guys I mentioned, Butters and Rowey, it's just going to be phenomenal players for a decade.
And Horn Francis another year on. I've got them top 8, and I actually consider them as potential top 4. I had them more up higher. Yep. So in the end, I thought maybe just out for some of the doubts that we did raise, but I think they'll be right up there.
Now, I think David King doesn't live in a world with a lot of blue sky.
I
think so. You've got to always,
temperate.
You and I might go to a restaurant and we might have Kingy there as well, and I'll probably go, "Oh, I enjoyed that meal. I'll give him a 9." You might say, "Oh yeah, I enjoyed it too. I'll give him an 8." He's a little, just for me.
Steak was rough.
I'll give him a 6.
That's, he needs to go to Gaucho's.
You know how some mark high and some mark low?
Yeah.
I think he's a low marker by nature, which is no dramas. But look, there's stuff to take there. I think Lee Montagna's comment is what Port has to break. It's like, yeah, I've got him in the 8. They're going to have to prove it to me after that.
And we're not going to know till then.
And that's the thing.
And Ken won't know till then.
Well, it's a bit like when I asked Ken, what have you got out of pre-season and the marginal, changes and all that? He just said, well, we don't know. We haven't shot it, a ball in anger at the moment. So until we do, it's hard to see. And that I think once we saw the trial on Friday night, we could actually both assess and go, yeah, there was a lot to like about that and about this, and we can talk about that later.
We certainly can. Keep your calls coming in. We want to hear from you. 8223 0000. Your favourite memories in 10 years of the redeveloped Adelaide Oval. Andrew Dimitri, who was CEO at the time, will join us after the 5 o'clock news.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Hello there, listener. We'd like to interrupt your listening pleasure with some more listening pleasure. Brought to you by Aussie Apples. A refreshing crunch here. A juicy one over there. How about a surround sound crunch? Tingly. Aussie apples. Hit refresh on your senses.
Get obsessed with the Honda SUV range at Formula Honda, Modbury and Glen Osmond. Whether it's the compact HRV, the sporty mid-sized Honda ZRV, or the spacious CRV. And for a limited time, new Honda SUVs come with a 7-year warranty, 7-year roadside assist, and 5 standard low-price services at $199 each. Visit Formula Honda, Modbury or Glen Osmond and test drive today. Vehicles used for a commercial purpose have a 7-year or 200,000-kilometre warranty, whichever occurs first. T's and C's at honda.com.au.
Hi, I'm Jo. I'm a registered nurse and I work with St. Louis Home Care as a clinical care coordinator.
St. Louis was started by my great-grandmother and is one big, happy family with lovely staff just like Jo.
The people that work for St. Louis are very loving and caring.
Whether it's personal care, preparing meals, shopping, home maintenance, or social activities, we help people stay at home for longer.
If you're interested, come and join us.
Google St. Louis Home Care today.
G'day everyone, Cornsey here. Now, I know a great team and I see one, and the South Australian hydraulic team I rate the highest is BL Shipway. I've known them for a long time. David Shipway is one of the best blokes you'll ever meet. BL Shipway, they've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs since 1953 with brands like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Oilpath, EasyFit and many more. And if you can't get to them, they'll send a Ryco 24/7 van to you anytime, anywhere. blshipway.com.au, the South Australian team you can count on.
Now let's see what's in the swear jar at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens.
Oi, that's a cookie jar.
Busted. My mistake. Let's see. Here it is. Here's one from Renette, an interior designer at Buy Urban for over 20 years. Renette swears to ensure your dream bathroom becomes a wonderful reality. For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts. Wouldn't mind a cookie.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
A cool change tomorrow morning. Still warm though, sunny atop of 31 tomorrow. After a warm night, 23 the overnight low. With the 5 o'clock news, I'm David Bruce.
Experience Japanese and Peruvian ingredients bringing Nikkei cuisine to life at Tunki in the Lakes Hotel West Lakes.
There's been a breakthrough in the case of the 2 men allegedly killed by a rogue cop in New South Wales. Human remains were today discovered near Goulburn. The officer in charge of the investigation, Detective Superintendent Daniel Doherty, says the discovery was made after the accused provided fresh information about the location of the bodies.
It's about 20 minutes from the original search location, where they have located what they believe are the remains of Luke and Jesse. There are 2 surf bags have been found. There's some other items of interest of significance.
A 27-year-old Shido Park man is likely to face a murder charge after the fatal stabbing of a 23-year-old man at Paralowie this morning. The victim died in hospital after the stabbing on Henry Street. The motive for the attack isn't yet known. It's understood the 2 knew one another. Major companies are on notice to improve their gender pay gaps, with about 80% paying women less than men. For the first time, the gender pay report has been publicly released, outlining the wage data of 5,000 businesses. The biggest discrepancies are in the banking sector, airline and construction industries. Workplace Gender Equality Agency Chief Executive Mary Wooldridge says it's important to shine a light on the issue.
Change takes action, and publishing the gender pay gaps equips employers, employees, investors, customers, everyone with that information so that people and employers can be motivated to embark on that journey and make the change and improvements that are needed.
Mining magnate Andrew Forrest has addressed Nationals MPs, expressing concern about their push for nuclear energy. Zach De Silva has details.
The opposition has been calling for nuclear power in Australia, arguing it'll help reduce reliance on fossil fuels. But mining billionaire Andrew Forrest is labelling that push unscientific bulldust. He's sat down with Nationals members, saying he's open to a debate about nuclear, but it'll take at least a decade to get any new facilities online.
10 to 15 years is really optimistic.
Nationals Senator Bridget McKenzie says Mr Forrest's criticism is predictable predictable because he's pouring tens of millions of dollars into other renewable technologies like hydro.
I hope he outlined his severe conflict of interest.
Fresh polling shows 36% of Australians want nuclear energy, while 23% oppose it.
Briefly, in other news, European leaders gathered in Paris have agreed to increase funding for Ukraine in its war against Russia. Sweden has been accepted into NATO after Hungary removed its veto. It ends 200 years of neutrality. And an outbreak of dengue fever in Peru has caused the deaths of 32 people, with more than 30,000 people contracting the mosquito-borne disease. A health emergency has been declared. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Collect the new 2024 season NBA cards now at Sports Card World Regent Arcade.
Australian Test opener Usman Khawaja says he's ready for the upcoming Test series despite having had a big year of cricket. With a number of games on the road, it comes as Australia prepare to take on New Zealand in the first test at Wellington starting on Thursday. Khawaja says he's never seen this much cricket played.
This year is probably an anomaly in that. We're definitely not going to play that next year, and even looking forward, there's normally not that many test matches because we had 4 in India, then we had 6 in England, including the World Test Championship. I haven't never seen this much cricket played in my life.
And Port Adelaide's Sam Powell-Pepper will learn his fate at the AFL Tribunal tomorrow morning. He was sent straight to the tribunal for a bump that left Adelaide's Mark King concussed. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
Hungry? Enjoy the new menu and all-you-can-eat salad and veg bar at the Paradise Hotel.
Afternoon at Bedford Park, a crash, South Road near Shepherd's Hill Road. Paradise, another collision there, Darley Road near the Paradise Rec Centre. And a crash at Tranmere, Glenburn Road near Richardson Reserve. Busy for works at Modbury, Reservoir Road near Hyson Avenue with a camera, Grant Road at Ranella. Play for $859 million in the USA Mega Lotto and get more zeros in your life. The world's biggest lotteries are at the Lottery Office. Play now at lotteryoffice.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
And the FIVEAA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
A cool change tomorrow morning, a top of 31. Thursday, cloud clearing, back to 27. Mostly sunny on Friday, 29. And then partly cloudy, 25 on Saturday. Currently 37. Now, let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, one man dead, another to be charged with murder over a Paralawi stabbing. The dramatic arrest caught on camera. New details in the citywide hunt for a gunman wanted over a Green Hill Road shooting. The video that has Taylor Swift's dad in hot water, we have his side of the story. And the SA Supermarket giving away millions. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
More than 17,000 Australians, both young and old, will die from stroke or heart attack caused by hypertension or high blood pressure this coming year. Many could be prevented through early detection. But right now, an Adelaide research team is seeking volunteers for a study to trial a potential treatment. If you've been diagnosed with moderate hypertension and you're between 18 and 72, you could be eligible. Go to fusiontrials.com.au/hypertension or call 08 7077 6996. You will be compensated for your time.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
Jonas from halfback goes to the outside wing. Thompson and Ollie Wines. Ollie Wines ran past him like he's standing still, and there it is. Stand up as one for Adelaide. You have won the first ever showdown at Adelaide Oval. 50,397,000 of you. 19-14, 128 to Adelaide 11-7, 73, a margin of 55, a complete and utter flogging.
At 7 after 5, can you believe that very moment? Showdown in 2014, March. That was the first time the redeveloped Adelaide Oval saw AFL football. We want your memories, 8223 0000 of your favourite footy memories or sporting memories at the ground since its redevelopment.
Well, Andrew Demetrio was AFL CEO, was a massive player in the Adelaide Oval redevelopment. He joins us now. Andrew, welcome. Why didn't we get a roof?
There won't be a roof. Good question, but look, fact is, for whatever reason, if you think about how many games are played in inclement weather these days, there's not that many, and it didn't really justify having a roof with all the expense. And I can't remember how many wet games there would have been in Adelaide Oval since its inception, but I dare say it wouldn't be more than a handful.
Yeah. it took you 40-odd Secret Service trips to Adelaide over a 3-year period to get it all over the line. Just talk us through that period of negotiation, how tough it was, because for 50 years there was a lot of mistrust between cricket and football.
Yeah, and being a Victorian, Stephen, I didn't fully appreciate how deep the resentment had become, and I'd had it explained to me by Wayne Jackson and others, but I didn't, and Bob Hammond and so forth, but I didn't really appreciate it until I delved into it a bit further, and if not for a first meeting where, with the best of goodwill, Ian McLaughlin and Lee Wicker attended a meeting with Rod Payes and myself and Tony Peake at the Hilton, I don't think it would have got off the ground, and I think we all went along with a lot of trepidation and a lot of uncertainty, and what we thought would be a half-hour meeting became a 2-hour meeting with the promise of another meeting down the track. So that's what kicked off proceedings, and then a lot of other people got involved who played significant roles, like Kevin Foley and Mike Rann, and I mentioned Ian McLaughlin, Lee Wicker, of course. And, of course, the rest is history. It was a lot of secret meetings, a lot of toing and froing. A lot of times the deals fell over, a lot of arguments and a lot of mistrust, and then everyone became good friends and ended up signing off.
Andrew, just that very first time somebody gave you a phone call, was that Ian McLaughlin from the Sacker, just to say, thinking about this?
Well, Ian had rung a couple of times to organise meetings, and I actually knocked the meetings back.
Right.
Because we were just in that position where we supported the SANFL in whatever position they took. So it took probably a crisis with with Adelaide Oval looking at doing a redevelopment of a kind, then of course the SANFL looking to actually redevelop West Lakes. So it took that culmination of those two things happening at the same time that an opportunity arose to maybe put all of that money, instead of into two different locations, into the one location, and that's what probably was fortuitous in the end. It was probably more timing than anything. But Ian McLaughlin was certainly the person that was very keen to have a discussion, at least. And I finally did have a discussion with Ian and didn't promise him anything, and he was very persistent and very persuasive. And then we organised this secret meeting in Adelaide.
Hey, Andrew, there was a game, I think late 2011. Port Adelaide had a terrible season, and they played Melbourne at the Adelaide Oval. That would have had to go through a lot of hands to get that one changed from Football Park, but it was a significant sort of, wow, this could be the future. Were the talks well and truly underway by then?
Not really. The talks started happening after that. That was just supposed to be a one-off, but it did show you something. It showed you that people would go to Adelaide Oval, a central location. Port Adelaide supporters had started to tire of going to West Lakes, which had served a great purpose over a long period of time. But once the discussion started rolling and progressing, and there was a commitment from the Rand government that if we could get agreement from both football clubs, the Sacker and the SANFL, on an agreement to move everything to Adelaide Oval, then it gained a lot of momentum, and if not for that commitment from the Rand government, it wouldn't have proceeded.
There's a quote here from Kevin Foley where he says, when I got down in the blues, Andrew Dimitro would tell me to keep the faith. And as a non-practicing Catholic, I took that on board and I kept the faith. I started laughing at that. But
it's one of my sayings, keep the faith. Look, in fairness to Kevin, we came from a long way back, and there was lots of times we just didn't think it was going to eventuate. And even the Premier, Mike Rann, when we asked him for what was $500 million to redevelop the stadium, if we could get the agreement from the parties, said, look, if you can get an agreement from all the parties, I will support this project, but there's not a hope in hell you're going to get an agreement from the parties.
Wow.
So even he didn't believe it could happen.
Sacker wanted it, no question, and from afar it looked like they got the better deal. They cleared their debt, and if we roll on 10 years, it has appeared to be that way. They got the better deal.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Stephen. If people cast their mind back, what happened was that we had a government that was prepared to support the stadium with $525 million. It did clear the SACA debt. It formed a joint venture which is owned by cricket and football 50-50 that derive all the revenues from the stadium, and it allowed the Sandful to keep Football Park to do with it what it wanted, and it's since redeveloped that into different living area, and it's had significant proceeds from the sale of the land plots. And I think they both did well out of it. I think it was probably the fairest deal you could have transpired in the end.
Port wanted it right or wrong from afar, and we were on air back then, Corns and I. Andrew, we spoke to you a number of times, and I think Crows went there kicking and screaming in the end. It was put under their nose, and away they went. Labor drove it. Just imagine if that state election went the other way, because Liberal wanted an intercity stadium. That's when I said I wanted a roof. I wanted what you have in Melbourne.
Well, Adelaide Oval is an inner-city stadium. It just hasn't got a roof.
Yeah.
But part of the sort of joy that's derived from Adelaide Oval is it's been preserved with its authenticity. You've still got the old scoreboard. You've still got the end without any grandstands.
Fig trees.
It's managed to keep its charm whilst being one of the great sports stadiums in the world.
Who was the hardest to deal with? Who was the crocodile in the curtain? Who could have thwarted it? Andrew, come on, give us something. Come on.
There were so many. Look, even people at the AFL House. Even our own people. Even people at the SACA. Even people at the Adelaide Crows, and some not too many Port Adelaide people. But look, there was a lot of goodwill in the end. It was a pulling together of lots of different people from different backgrounds to go in the same direction, and the outcome's been magnificent. And as I said earlier, it could have fallen over many, many times if not for the goodwill of many people who put in. And I give a lot of credit to Kevin Foley and Mike Rann and Lee Wicker, who was under enormous pressure from lots of different quarters, government, clubs. One of our hardest meetings we had was when Lee and I went and spoke to Max Bashir, who I love dearly, to tell Max about what had been going on for the better part of 18 months. And Max, in true form, said he could never accept coming together of cricket and football. If it was in the best interest of football, he'd support it. But it was a great outcome.
Yeah, it was. Unbelievable. We roll on 10 years. You played over 100 games for North. It's your club. They've never won a game at Adelaide Oval, Andrew?
Well, they've got a lot of years to turn that around, and hopefully with the recruits they've been able to get, and with Alistair Clarkson in a better frame of mind this year, hopefully they'll win the game there.
And Andrew, did you come over for that first game?
Look, I did. I remember it well. If memory serves me correct, it was 29th of March.
Correct.
Because it was my wife's birthday. For her birthday, I took her over to see the first game at Adelaide Oval. She'd never forgiven me for it. But one of my great memories of that game was seeing Ian McLaughlin and Lee Wicker crying on the boundary line at the beginning of the game, sort of watching grown men shed a tear for many years of hard work and the culmination of lots of negotiations and probably coming together of a 40 or 50-year disagreement. And that was really moving, and I won't forget it till the rest of my life.
And you retired in June 2014 as the CEO then. You facilitated something that is now our state's jewel. Andrew, you're a big player in that. Thanks for your time, and I hope it's all going well. We'll keep in touch.
Anytime, guys. All the best.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
He was a massive player in that.
Well, he mentioned this bloke's name a couple of times. He was the treasurer at that time that we were trying to get to Adelaide Oval. It's Kevin Foley. G'day, Kev.
Gentlemen, good evening.
Oh, mate, would have been some fond and maybe some memories that perhaps weren't too good at the time trying to get there.
Well, it sort of seemed a good idea at the time. I just reflected earlier, both with Andrew and some other people I've been talking to about the anniversary, was that the first time I spoke to Andrew was I rang him to advise him the government had made this momentous decision to give $150 million to the SANFL to develop Footy Park. And his reaction surprised me. Effectively, why?
Oh, right, yeah.
But it didn't take long for me to understand Andrew's thinking. I mean, he doesn't pay as much credit to his own efforts that he should. Yeah. He made the point it was the closest bit of a piece of greenery for an oval in any CBD in Adelaide. It much closer than the MCG to the vibrancy of the middle of Melbourne, as every other state. And really, South Australia has always been a state where we couldn't sustain two multi-billion-dollar stadium, one for cricket and one for football. We just didn't have the population nor the wealth. So I got on board pretty quickly and failed to share that with a lot of my colleagues, including the Premier, although I did bring Mike into the loop reasonably soon in the process. But, it was reasonably clandestine, that's for sure.
How did you go pulling that offer off the table and then saying, no, we're going to try and get this happening?
Well, we had a thing approaching called the global financial crisis, and Mike Rand and I and the cabinet we all had restored the state's AAA credit rating, and I was going to come hell or high water ensure that we withstood what we thought would be the tsunami of the global financial crisis hitting Australia. So I got permission from cabinet to scrap a number of $500 million to $1 billion projects that we had lined up. And I took it upon myself to take delegated authority, because I couldn't bring everything back to cabinet in the time frame, for anything from $150 million and under. So it just so happened that I had the authority to do what I did from delegated authority. That said, of course, I didn't share that with anyone other than the Premier, and that wasn't particularly amusing to many of my colleagues. And, of course, that started an internal debate about what was the right priority, community sports or a flashy stadium in the city. But as we look back, you look at the cost of upgrading or building whatever they built in Perth. I think it was $1.5 billion. Looking up at the Commonwealth, the Olympic Games up in Brisbane, they'll spend billions on their stadia. We got this one upgraded for under $600 million, and it is truly an outstanding achievement.
Your entire front bench, if you like, or cabinet were Port supporters. That's probably the only reason it happened. It ended up being an election policy, Kev.
Yeah, but look, Rowey, we had a lot of opposition. I mean, I took phone calls from the very highest levels of serving and pre-serving or since serving SANFL people. I had the Adelaide Crows, key supporters, key board members, key administrators. There was even one radio commentator highly regarded as an expert on football in South Australia, somewhat biased towards the Crows, but I think you'd know him, Timmy Geneva. And he sat next to me. He had a fair old crack at giving us his opinion, but it was not something that was widely supported at all. Internally in my own side of politics, understandably, ministers want money for their own portfolios. They weren't too keen on, Mike and I showering the football, but at the end of the day, it lifted our city to a level for which nothing else could have. We've got all 100 of small bars now in the city. People go to the city. There are rooftop bars. We're an exciting city. We've got a venue to be proud of. It's arguably one of the better investments government have made in the last 30 years.
Now we got Gavin around.
Kev, I can hand on heart say I was 100% out of line. I was wrong. I couldn't have got it any more wrong. It is my favourite place in Adelaide now, that Adelaide Oval. And I think I said that to you. I think I might have even hugged you on the day and said, Kev.
Well, you did actually. You did
See,
actually.
I did.
But just to hear you say it again, Rowey, and to all us Port supporters, have a listen, guys. Look at Rowey, eh?
I got it wrong.
I've got to give it to you. I've got to give it. Sometimes it's you've got to admit you were wrong to be right, as Mike Ram would often tell me.
So did the Crows go kicking and screaming, or it was quite an easy sell?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I have since apologised to poor old Triggy, Stephen Trigg, because he was given instructions, no doubt, from board and SANFL, and he hung on the fence and sometimes dipped a little into the negative side on the Adelaide Oval publicly. And I'd ring Andrew up and say, mate, I've got, Twiggy's out there. I don't think he's given the right message. Andrew would say, leave it to me, I'll give him a call. So I reckon poor old Stephen took, 3 or 4 or 5 calls from the meat trio rather aggressively. But, no, look, the Crows were, and the Crows, I think, were clearly massively influenced by the SANFL. The SANFL clearly didn't want to lose their cash cow, which was Football Park. Many of them believed in it as it was, but as Andrew pointed out, it was and that's why we initially put money up, it was a massively and rapidly ageing stadium.
Yeah.
It had very poor services for the media. The spectators and the punters were poorly serviced. And in the end, and Lee Wicker, to his credit, did a very good piece of work on just working out where people lived who went to the footy. And, eastern suburbs people were not going down to West Lakes.
Yeah.
That's just a reality.
Yeah.
And Port Adelaide, this may surprise you and your listeners, but there are a few Port Adelaide supporters who live east of the city, and also north and south. They've got train networks straight in.
So when you come over the Birkenhead Bridge, how do you get there?
What you do, mate, turn left on Port Road.
left, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it. Well,
I thought you'd be like
Andrew,
me, mate, catching the 405 from Atherton Railway Station.
Well, Andrew Demetrio was the perfect CEO for the time. He was the bully boy to get it over the boardroom to make it happen, and he needed the support of Kev, and you were a big player in that, and it was just, and still is, the greatest. We're going to have 60,000 there for Pink tonight. Now, Kev, you'd have a favourite footy moment in that 10 years, or a favourite Adelaide Oval moment?
Oh, I think, as Andrew said, on the day that we watched the first game was very, very special. For whatever reason, then Premier Jay Weatherall didn't invite me, nor Mike Rann, I might add, to the opening of the Oval. Actually, that's a bit of poor politics by Jay. But so we weren't. Not that we were necessarily looking for it, but I think even to this day, Mike Rann's never been invited by the Adelaide Oval authority to visit. But,
wow.
The world moves on, and with this whole process, there's always been, everyone was a supporter of the project. If it buggers up, you're on your own as an orphan. Yeah. If it comes good, everyone wants to own it. But look, Adelaide Oval, I just think the fact that it was successful and has been successful. There's no one great moment. Watching Port Adelaide play there the first time, but I think, a great mate of mine, Gordon Smith, that may or may not be someone at the Crows, his son, Brodie Smith, will pay his 250th in a few weeks' time. To see a young guy like Brodie play on the best oval there is in the nation has been terrific. I've seen, many of a young footballer spend a career at an oval that has given them great satisfaction.
No, well done, Kev. Playing your part, you did a marvellous job, and you can now look at it and say, I was a part of that. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Well done.
Kevin Foley, who was the former State Treasurer and Deputy Premier at that time.
Yeah, well, history will record that decision by that government, led by Kev, very favourably, because it's going to stand the test of time.
Yeah. And it already has given us, well, like I said,
a lot of joy.
We do have Gather Round now, and that's a big part of that.
That's
a big part of it.
No question.
Well done.
There won't be a roof.
It's 26 after 5. Let's check your traffic.
Crash at Bedford Parks to look out for, South Road near Shepherd's Hill Road. Another collision, this one's at Paradise, Darley Road near the Paradise Rec Plaza. And another smash at Christie Downs, Christopher Road near Gabriel Street. Slow for works at Leeward Gardens, Mount Barker Road near the freeway, with a camera at Baines Road at Woodcroft. You wouldn't operate a chainsaw blindfolded, so why dig without searching before you dig first? If you don't, you're digging blind. Search Before You Dig online every time. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowey and Timmy G.
Hey, you in the car. If your next service is due, just remember that Mawson Lakes Mazda has your back. We'll take care of you with next day servicing, complimentary loan car, vacuum and wash, and your breakfast or lunch is on us. Your car gets the love too, with our state-of-the-art service centre brimming with top-trained mechanics. At Mawson Lakes Mazda, we'll look after your car and look after you. Mawson Lakes Mazda, just a short drive from the city.
Xero connects me with all sorts of things for my business, like my bank, my apps, even my bookkeeper.
Numbers looking good?
That was my bookkeeper. Xero is business, but better. Try Xero free for 30 days. Visit xero.com.
CMAX Clinical Research is currently investigating potential prevention that could help millions of people, but we can't do this without the help of proud South Australians like you. If you're a healthy adult aged 18 to 50, then you may be eligible to participate. The study, C07723, requires you to spend 3 nights at our facility and attend 2 follow-up visits. Upon completion, you'll be reimbursed for your time. Want to learn more? Visit cmax.com.au to apply today. That's cmax.com.au.
G'day everyone, Cornsey here. Now, I know a great team and I see one, and the South Australian hydraulic team I rate the highest is BL Shipway. I've known them for a long time. David Shipway's one of the best blokes you'll ever meet. BL Shipway, they've been looking after your hydraulic and pneumatic needs since 1953 with brands like Ryco, Rexroth, Enerpac, Hydac, Oilpath, EasyFit and many more. And if you can't get to them, they'll send a Ryco 24/7 van to you anytime, anywhere. blshipway.com.au, the South Australian team you can count on.
This is what it sounds like to win the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. Speechless. The $3.6 million grand prize could be your new life at Henley Beach in a fully furnished Scott Salisbury dream home. Let that sink in. homelottery.com.au. Join the fight and support life-changing medical research for all South Australians. Licence M14493.
Looking to build or renovate? Then talk to Rundle Blinds and Curtains to plan your window furnishings. Including your blinds and curtains in your designs means you can incorporate the latest in smart home technology and installation innovations, such as ceiling recessing and double tracking. Rundle Blinds and Curtains work closely with your builders and architect to make the process seamless for stunning results. Rundle Blinds and Curtains, Adelaide's premier window furnishings company. Book a consultation with our Kings Park team. Visit rundleblinds.com.au.
Hearing Australia's Hearing the Nation tour is coming to Adelaide, delivering free hearing checks for adults. Search Hearing the Nation for more.
Hearing Australia.
Conditions apply under the Australian Government Hearing Services Program.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the FIVEAA Sports Show.
5:30. Charlie Grant to come up very shortly. The Matildas are back in Australia. They'll play tomorrow night.
A few unique homestyle food texts coming in. The memories, of course, boys, great Adelaide Oval concerts like the Stones, Pearl Jam, U2 come to mind, says Ben.
Did you go to all of them?
All but I didn't get to Pearl Jam. I did the others, though. And Clive in the Hunter Valley, he says, look, David King is so biased against the 2 SA teams. It's a bit over the top. An SA team could win the flag and he'd sit down, watch a replay of the game and still pick the opposition to win. So that's what he thinks. And, of course, they keep flying in here. Guy's favourite moment, Travis Head New Year's Eve ton, Sturt beating Port by a point in the 2017 Grand Final. Thanks for that. And the night Crows smashed the Cats and Rory took out Danger. Good on you, Pete.
That was huge. There's a lot there for Jordan Dawson's goal after the siren.
Oh, yes.
It just proves how good this oval's been to this state.
Yeah.
I love it.
No question about it. We'll get to the 5:30 headlines very shortly. We know the AFL captains had their Captain's Day yesterday at Marvel Stadium. We're going to ask the same questions the captain got asked to Rowey and Timmy G next.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
David Bruce with the latest news headlines. The bodies of 2 men discovered in surfboard bags in New South Wales are believed to be those of Jesse Baird and his boyfriend Luke Davis, who were allegedly killed by a police officer who had a brief relationship with one of them. A 27-year-old man is expected to be charged with murder after a fatal stabbing at Paralowie this morning. Scott Morrison has given his farewell speech to Parliament as he prepares for a new life in the private sector. And the Matildas have spent the day gearing up for tomorrow night's final Olympic qualifier against Uzbekistan in Melbourne. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Hungry? Enjoy the new menu and all-you-can-eat salad and veg bar at the Paradise Hotel.
Few collisions to look out for on the drive home. One at Flagstaff Hill, Black Road near Flagstaff Road. Another one at Bedford Park, South Road near Shepherd's Hill Road. Another smash at Tranmere, Glenburn Road near Richardson Reserve. North Adelaide, parts of Warmaroy will drive a close for Pink tonight. That's at Adelaide Oval, speeds at 25. Anglo Camera, Sherrills Road, Morford Vale, and Smith Street at Walkerville. What's for dinner? How about a Porto's whole chicken feed? Whole flame grilled chicken, 2 pita bread, 2 dipping sauces, and choice of share side, just $28.95 at a Porto. Adelaide's most accurate traffic. traffic on 5AA.
Now, the latest forecast, we could get a cool change tomorrow morning. Still quite warm, though. Sunny, a top of 31. And a warm night, 23, the overnight low. Currently, it's 36. More news at 6. And as it happens on 5AA.
5AA Breakfast.
For people who are going, oh, well, how come we got a state voice? We had a referendum last year and everybody voted against the voice. Well, they're completely different things. This state voice, if it's a shambles, we're not stuck with it. Malinowskis took it to the election, was put to the parliament, and it went through.
Informing Adelaide.
If next election David Spears got up and said, this thing's a disaster, I'll repeal it if you vote for me.
Yeah.
You can have that debate. Where the federal one didn't allow that kind of debate.
6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
$50,000 sitting in the bank doing nothing much? Interested in a direct mortgage investment? You could be earning 10% per annum paid to you monthly. That's right, 10%. Angus Securities has provided mortgage investment opportunities in South Australia for almost 25 years. Call 1800 010 800 to discuss this investment offer or visit the Flinders Street office. Investments are not bank deposits and there is a risk you could lose some or all of your money. You may receive lower than expected returns. Read the PDS carefully to decide if the product is right for you. AFSL 232479. Visit Angus Securities to access further information, including the offer brochure and TMD. 10% per annum, fixed interest paid monthly. You're better off with Angus.
At Coles, we can help you with breakfast on the go. With Sanitarium Up and Go Liquid Breakfast, 250ml 3-pack, half price at just $3.25. That's great value, hands down, at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
Things are about to get even more exciting at Cherry Glen Osmond with the arrival of the Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro. The Tiggo is a step up in size, engine performance and luxury. A full-sized family SUV featuring a panoramic sunroof, heated and ventilated seats, twin 12-inch displays, CarPlay, 360-degree camera and so much more, including high-tech safety, and all from $39,990 drive away from Cherry Glen Osmond. Go beyond with the Tiggo 7 Pro. Book a test drive at gocherry.com.au.
When you're a market-leading builder like Regent Homes, you never rest on your laurels. It's why Regent Homes is South Australia's only builder offering 3D virtual reality technology in their Envision Design Studio. At your first design meeting, you'll walk through your home in virtual reality. It's a wow moment, enriching your experience so you can make the right design choices from the start. Regent Homes. Innovative design, elevated living. Visit regenthomes.com.au.
Little Heroes Foundation's Women in Business Luncheon is back again Friday, March 15th. Proudly presented by ADL Support Services. This year, Kate Collins is your host. Plus, Kelly Jamison from Edible Blooms will share her journey along with many other powerhouse women. Last year it was the Australian of the Year, Taryn Brumford. Head to littleheroesfoundation.com.au to purchase your tickets. But hurry, tickets will sell fast. All money raised supports childhood dementia.
With more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Rowey and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
24 minutes to 6. Ned McHenry coming up shortly. Charlie Grant from the Matildas. And keep your calls coming in, 8223 0000. We've been reflecting and reminiscing on the last 10 years of memories at the Adelaide Oval. Newly redeveloped in 2014. Amazing, it's been 10 years since.
Before we get on to that, Skyhawks or Sherbet, you could be one or the other back in the day.
Well, yeah, I do remember they used to do that to people, which I didn't like because I liked both of them.
Did you?
I loved them, yeah.
Give me a Skyhawks...
well, that's horror movie there.
That's horror movie.
Yeah, that's
what
horror
year was
movie.
that, mate?
Yeah, I reckon it's got to be early 70s. I'm going to guess maybe 73.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were awesome. I loved them, and they were a little bit different. It was in
But
that
they
era.
wore lipstick back then.
It was glam rock. That's what they called it, glam rock.
But
yeah,
they dressed
so it
up.
was an
They
era.
dressed up. They played dress-ups.
There was bands, overseas like Slade and that were glam rock as well, who were hard rock. But, they were all dressed up a bit. It was the 70s, man. You've got to get with it. Flares and, colours
Kiss.
going everywhere.
Yeah.
Kiss came a bit later, in the 70s. But
I liked
that early
Sherbet,
70s,
and then when Braithwaite went out and sung Horses, I just...
That was the 90s, man.
Well, that's what I mean. He lost me with that.
Yeah,
If I hear one song, if I hear Horses again...
great song. Look, they've flogged it recently, but when it came out in the 90s, it was quite a good song.
Okay.
Written by Ricky Lee Jones.
See,
Who did Chucky's in Love?
Now let's talk sport.
Yes.
The captains.
Yeah, well, the captains had a big meeting, didn't
They did. AFL House. And the journos and the AFL, they like to put the burning questions to the AFL captains. So what we thought we'd do is not find out what the captains think. We want to find out what Rowey and Timmy G think.
Okay.
So let's ask some of the same questions that they got asked. And one of them that was asked is, who's your premiership favourite, not counting your own team? Because you're going to be favourable to Crows or Port here. So who's your premiership favourite for 2024?
That's a good question, because you take away your own team because you hope that they are the premiership favourite or hopefully get there. But look, when you look at it, I reckon last year if you asked the same question, people were going, oh yeah, Geelong, Sydney maybe go that next step. It's amazing what happens, and I think we looked it up, 7 out of 10 times, one of those teams in the grand final dropped out of the 8. And this time it was Geelong who dropped out of the 8. So it's quite easy to say, oh, Collingwood will be there again, no problems whatsoever. But you wonder whether they sustain that again, because they did it very quickly in the 2 years underneath Flea. They went straight up, bang, bang. So it's a difficult one to answer. I'd say they're definitely going to be in the mix, but who could challenge that? Who could come up from somewhere? Now, a lot of people are saying GWS might be to do that, and they are a bit impressive, but to jump again and win a flag, they could be top 4. But I think I'm probably going to stick, and I know this will surprise, I think Melbourne can win.
Wow. Well, I've got them imploding.
Yeah, they can.
I've got them absolutely self-imploding.
They're going to do one or the other.
Timmy, they are no hope, so I've got them out. I think the Lions are due, so they're probably on my top run. Collingwood won't go backwards. They're just so well connected.
I don't think so.
And that's easy to say they're there.
It is.
I've got high hopes for your team, Port. There's a steely resolve around what they're doing, and I like what I'm seeing so far. So they'll be around the mark. My bolt is Sydney.
I like it.
Okay.
My bolt is
GWS.
Okay,
I think they can jump
Sydney.
again.
The 2 New South Wales teams in the frame. Who's your Brownlow tip for 2024?
Yeah, are we allowed to pick somebody from our own club? Or?
You can this time.
Can this time? Look, I think Connor Rozee will poll well. He does. So does Butters. And I think Jason Horne-Francis will be a sneaky one, because he polled well for his first year, which was surprising, and I think that's great for him. And I mean, first year at Port Adelaide. I don't want Tim writing a quick email to me, so cut that out. But I think from outside, I would love to see Marcus Bontempelli win one. I think he's been in the mix and runner-up a couple of times. I think he's carried that side a lot on his back, and maybe one day he'll be rewarded.
Did I see Robbo's top 50 come out, and Zach Butters is in at number 2?
He did put him at number 2, yeah.
Number 2, Connor Rozee at 15, Jordan Dawson 24. He's the best chance for the Crows for a Brownlow, because he plays that game. Run and carry. Taylor Walker at 30. My bolter for Port is Ollie Wines. He's won one. He's going to play midfield all year.
Which is great.
He's as fit as he has ever been. He's a genuine polar, and God, what a story that would be. Wins one, not a good year, wins one. So I'm going to go Ollie.
That's a good
And I
call.
like Ollie.
There you go.
And I don't think anyone deserves it. Monty doesn't deserve it any more than anyone.
Well, just the way he plays, and I think he's a guy that has always been around the mark, and I like to think if he keeps playing like that, I'd like to see him win it, and he seems like a humble bloke.
And the other one, he does. He ticks all those boxes. If you watch the WA media and you watch their West Australian paper and the 6PR radio shows like us, they've got Harley Reid winning the medal for the Brownlow, the best first-year player. He's also going to kick the most goals, the Coleman. He is apparently...
To be fair, they haven't had much to talk about.
No, he apparently will win everything.
Yeah. And look, and that's putting a lot on the kid.
It is.
Let's get him in and find his feet. You know,
he's been the front page of the West Australian 6 times.
We've seen this a few times, haven't we? They did it with Jesse Hogan and a few others, and Patton.
All right, this is where they get interesting, these questions. I like this. Assuming Tasmania gets a team, should we have a 20th side, and where should they be based?
I actually think that the AFL have almost... Well, they're going to force themselves into that corner where nobody likes the bye, the unnecessary bye. And we don't even like it when they do the rolling bye. But with 19 teams, everyone's going to go, oh, here we go again. What they'll be able to do, they'll be able to manage that. Because you're playing 18, they're going to go, well, let's do 18 and 8, maybe 26 games in a season. That will probably force that on. I think the 20th team is one of the biggest challenges that the AFL will face on the back of, we see the Gold Coast and where they're at and how they struggle to attract crowds and the like. And I know they've got Hardwick up this year to try and make that reverse. But I just reckon it's another challenge to go, okay, well, let's put it up the top end. The top end is a real battle. And we're talking North Queensland and the NT. It's a real battle, again, for the numbers. It's all about the numbers, crunching it. Yes, we want to see that great talent playing the game of Australian rules footy, but to fill stadiums and make it a commercial winner, I think that's the biggest challenge.
Sustainability.
Mine's Darwin. The amount of money they've thrown at GWS and Gold Coast, Darwin would succeed before those two financially. I'm Darwin all day, every day.
Very good answer. The last one, should concussed players be forced to sit out for 21 days?
It's 14 now, isn't it?
Yes,
12.
It's 12 at the moment.
12 is the AFL.
Yes.
And there's a lot of different answers in there. I didn't mind the one Paddy Dangerfield said. He said, well, look, let's base it on informative data, not just pick a number out of the hat. That's probably a good answer.
Well, I like this answer. Took Miller, no. James Sicily said, whatever's best medically. Connor Rowey, I think it should be based on whatever the research is. Josh Kelly, I'd leave it to the professionals. A lot of them are going down that part. I'm with you, Took, no.
I like it. Look,
no.
You know, last night we had the question from several listeners about, why can't you just sign a waiver? And we got a couple of those calls last night.
There should be a waiver that players sign, realising that they're playing a game, there's a lot of bumps and knocks. It's part of the game that you are going to potentially get concussed. And you just waive your rights to future legal action.
So I tried to explain that I heard Tim Downey from Johnson & Withers. I heard him on Matt Pantella's show, and I said, no. He screams at the radio every time somebody rings in with that. Now, I tried to explain it best I could, but I thought, you know what? I'll go and find Tim's answer and play it back. Have a listen.
And there's a very simple legal principle there, and that is that you cannot contract out of liability. In layman's terms, what that means is, let's say I wanted to go parachuting. I just sign here, and it says, you will not sue us if you get injured or die. That would not stand up in court. So as a legal principle, it's not really worth putting in a contract, you cannot sue us, right? Because it would be, the court would simply strike it out.
Wow.
There you go.
You cannot contract out of liability.
There it is.
So when you do all those things, inverted commas, and you read the fine print, it's not worth the paper it's written on.
You got it.
So what about a prenup? I got one with Mama Bear.
Have not.
Oh, I'm excited now. It's not worth. It's not worth the paper it's written on, Jody.
See,
you get nothing.
A prenup is
you
actually
come in with nothing. You go out with nothing.
It's not a waiver. It's not a waiver prenup.
It's a prenup.
It's a different arrangement.
You and I've got a prenup here. Our prenup here is, you said to me, Rowey, don't drag me down.
Well, no, you said that.
I did.
And I signed it.
No, I did. I said you don't let me drag you down.
Excellent.
Were they the words, Sam?
Oh, something along those lines.
Yeah. Are you listening?
I've been busy working with Justin just to sign.
So there you go. That cleans that up.
That
For anybody else that thinks you can sign a waiver to play the game and you can't sue, well, guess what? You can't.
Here's the words. You cannot,
Thank you,
in
Tim
capital
Downey.
letters,
Thank you, Johnson
contract out of liability.
Well played.
Period. Full stop.
82230000. We got Peter
Sam
from Croydon Park on the line. G'day, Pete.
Oh, g'day, gents. I tuned in when you were talking to that chappie about the Oval, about Adelaide Oval and Westlake's ageing. I think, though, that we really don't have, you were talking about the gather round, we don't really have a great alternative venue apart from Adelaide Oval. I know with a capacity of, say 30 plus or even 25 plus in Adelaide, and I think we perhaps should look at doing that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I was actually thinking, Pete, is there a way that perhaps just temporarily... Karen Rolton is a very, very good oval. It's in excellent condition. It's looked after by Adelaide Oval. If there was a way of putting temporary stands around that to get a crowd of, say, 10, that would be a really good alternative, I think. I know what you're saying, Pete. Sometimes...
I don't like temporary stands. Just do it.
Just put stands there.
Tell the Adelaide City Council to go... Get the chainsaws out and
Yeah, I don't think it's so much that. I think you can put seating in and around that.
Right.
So yeah, but that's I can see where he's coming from, but we're not going to spend half $500 million on it.
Speaking on the Adelaide City Council just for a moment, we actually got a call in the last hour from one of their councillors to say that tonight they will be debating. Do you remember the Adelaide Comets situation and the fence that was happening?
Yes.
They'll be redebating that again tonight.
Oh, cool.
it'll get up.
Yeah,
because
so
they
we're
look
hoping.
like absolute clowns and idiots.
At
last
the moment
time.
they do,
Yeah.
indeed.
Hello, Steve.
G'day, how you going?
Steve.
Just the first game at Adelaide Oval, nothing to do with footy, but my son got dressed up for a promo. He was the frog cake. And I reckon he was the poster child for how successful was 15 years of private school education. So there you go. It was money well spent. Money well spent.
Did you get a year's supply of frog cakes? What was his payment? What was his talent fee?
It wasn't very much, but he was a footy player, and I reckon if you eat one frog cake, that'd be your sugar allowance for a month, I reckon.
Now, was it a green frog cake? Can you remember what colour he was?
Green.
Oh yeah, he was dressed up like green tights and whatever on, and a big frog cake, frog cake thing with a mask on. And funnily enough, I rang up the sports show on the Saturday morning and said the same thing. And he bumped into Andrew Demetriou, I think obviously before the game, and Demetriou said to him, he says, "Oh, I reckon I heard your dad on the radio this morning."
Unreal.
So how'd they do the cream? I'm interested.
Yeah. No, it's just a soup. But Steve, that was a pretty warm day too. So, and those costumes, they get really hot. So don't worry, your son earned his money. That's a very difficult task.
It was a classic. It was a classic.
So Steve, he's 26 now. How's he turned out?
Oh, look, he's 30. He was. I'll call him the Sapphire Child because he did a lot of travelling. Played footy, country leagues. And been to every powder champagne snowfield around the world.